Where is Ray Allen going? Who will win MVP? What's the biggest news around going on in the NBA? We, the bench players, know what it is. My name is Chad Canty, and I am here with Ben Ross, and we are going to inform you about everything that's going on. Start off, Ben.
We're going to start off with the Ray Allen speculations on where he might be going before playoffs start.
Philly.
Philadelphia, why?
Contenders. They're going to win.
Philadelphia is not going to contend for the playoffs. I'm sorry. That's just a sad little hope.
All seriousness, I can see him going to Memphis. I can see him going to Golden State and possibly San Antonio. They're all contending teams, and Memphis and San Antonio could use another guard where he would have solid minutes.
And where he could stretch the defense more on the other team.
Exactly. I do say Golden State because they are a contender, but because of the loaded bench that they have with guards, I mean, it's all guards. Plus, you already have Curry, Thompson, Barnes, Iggy. I mean, you don't really need him, but it's still a place where he could end up because of their current situation.
Other teams that Ray Allen might go to are Washington, Chicago, and Cleveland, and possibly just stay in Miami or just say, all right, I'm done. We're calling it quits, and he's going to retire with that really nice resume he has.
Close to 3,000 three-pointers, leading the NBA. He did have a great career, and he also played well whenever he was with the Celtics. They're the big four we could call them if you include Rondo, Garnett, Pierce, Allen, Rondo.
And then playing
Miami,
with the Heat,
with
the championship run.
With Braun and D-Wade and Bosh. He had a good career.
We could see him go just about
really.
anywhere where they have
if you're a
fighting
contender,
chance for the championship this year.
If you're contending for a championship, you better watch out. Ray Allen's coming.
Maybe. Or he might just say, I'm done with this. We're calling it quits. Another guy on the speculation list is Jermaine O'Neil, who's said to possibly end up in Portland, Dallas, Cleveland, the Clippers, and the Warriors, where I like his fit in the Warriors because they could actually use another big man off the bench behind Bogut and Lee.
Bogut and Lee are always injured. It's always one of the two.
You can't get both, but at least they have both. And even though one has to sit on the bench in a suit and tie and the other one's playing.
Struggling.
But in all likelihood, it does seem like he would go to Dallas if he were to return coming into signing time, if he decides to sign.
I can see Golden State as a possibility. They, as you said, they do need another big man. I'm going to look at Portland. They do have LaMarcus Aldridge, and they do have Freeland.
And they are the most recent team to show interest in him, too.
There is a possibility he goes there if he wants to go on a contender where he can do something.
But Dallas is
also, just as much as Golden State, those three teams all have a great chance to pick him up because of their current situation in the league. He will get reasonable playing time with each team, and plus they will be a contender. I can almost see Cleveland being in the running because of Anderson Varejao being out for the season. But ever since their newly acquired Timothy Mozgov, I can't really see him fitting in very much.
You don't know where they end up deciding to go in the end. But we'll have to wait and see where he ends up, even though it does seem like Dallas is your better choice for Jermaine O'Neil, where he has stated that he wants to stay close to home instead of having to journey away from his home, where he has established Dallas to be his home at the moment.
Dallas does have that extra little boost.
And after that Rondo trade, Dallas
is looking great. Dirk, he's going for it. Another one.
You think?
Knock on wood. There we go.
The MVP race looks very tight. But we have three that we like a lot more. And this is our ranking in order. Anthony Davis at 1. Stephen Curry is our second guy we think could be MVP. And then our third choice is James Harden. Let's consider Anthony Davis first, because that's who we have up at top.
This is maybe he's only his third year, but he is making it count. He has career highs in basically everything this year. Looking at steals, rebounds, minutes, field goal percentage, points, free throw percentage, and he's 4th overall in the league in scoring so far. He's leading
and he's the number one
blocks.
Blocking guy.
He is just having a great impact on this Pelicans team right now, and he is leading the way.
Even though the Pelicans are not in a playoff standing right now.
I thought they were close.
They still look as good. They might be in like 11th or something like that.
11th?
I think they're in 11th.
I gotta go with that.
But you can double check that. He also is showing off his talent as a young man, running that court so well. Oh man, makes it sort of hard to fight such a good guy.
They're in 9th place, 3.5 games out of a playoff spot. Let's go, Anthony. Come on.
Pull that team together and put them into the playoffs. Boy. Up next, we have Stephen Curry. He's probably one of the most talked about who would be up on that MVP candidate list. His minutes are down, but with his decrease in minutes, a lot of his other stats have actually seen quite a little up from last year and from his season averages too. He's currently 5th in assists and number 1 in steals in the league. He is one of those guys that you can put the ball in his hands at the end of the game and he will take over.
Part of the Splash Brothers, him and Thompson. Both excellent three-point shooters. When you're looking at Curry, like just made his 1,000th career three-pointer, youngest ever to do so. He's a team leader. When you look at him watch him play, I mean, he distributes the ball very well. He can score and pass at the same time. He's just a really good all-around player with still a lot of potential.
And he's having his best year for assist-to-turnover ratio, and even steals-to-turnover ratio is really good for him too.
All this with all like those lower minutes as well. I mean,
he's not turning the ball over as much, keeping that ball.
3-point percentage is his lowest at about 38% this year. And when I say lowest at 38%, that just shows you how much of an amazing 3-point shooter he is.
What was he, almost up to 49% at 1 year?
Yeah, close to 48, 49, close to 50. How do you shoot 50% from the 3-point line? I don't even shoot 50% from the free throw line.
Our number 3 for this category is James Harden.
Definitely. When you're looking at James Harden, I see MVP. He's averaging 27 points, 6.5 assists, close to 5.5, 6 rebounds. There's no better way to put it than MVP numbers, like 27, 6, and 7.
He really did work to get to this level, like playing as that third wing on a big OKC team a couple of years ago, and then leaving for Houston. And then he ended up just standing right out in Houston and becoming sort of that lead guy in Houston, and just.
I remember his first game in Houston. I watched that game. 34 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. Amazing shooting percentage.
There you go. Oh, double in the first game.
That's how you come back.
That's how you start in a new spot.
It was his first time like in a starting role as well too. Very impressive.
Now, past those 3 MVPs, we have 2 wildcards that each of us have been let each other choose who else we think would also be a good MVP contender. And Chad's choice over here is Kyle Lowry.
Definitely. Kyle Lowry is a pit bull on that court. He is probably one of the shortest, he is one of the shortest players in the NBA right now. Yet he's averaging 5 rebounds.
He stands at 6 foot tall.
20 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, a steal and a half. He is a Toronto Raptors. He's leading the way. He is their cornerstone. He is the man. And there should be...
He's taken over since DeRozan went out
since
injured.
DeRozan's been gone, Kyle Lowry's really stepped it up, really took over that role.
You know what's going to happen when DeRozan comes back? Is he still going to be as efficient, or is he going to share more of the...
I think he's going to take a 3-game break.
All right, see you guys. I'm going to golf.
He looks like he is beat. Like, the last 2 games they played, they were blown out by 25 and 26 points. I mean, they're tired. Like, they need DeMar back. They can't only rely on Kyle. Because they even said before that whenever they were going into, like, halftime of the game, they'd be like, all right, so you got it? Yeah, I got it. All right, I'll look for you. If not, vice versa. Now it's just Kyle. And he seems like he is getting more touches, more assists. He's doing a lot better and whatnot, but he's getting tired.
Well, he's basically become that one player where before it was him and DeRozan sharing the
load. And now that DeRozan's gone, it's just him.
And it makes it hard on one player to just... And when you're trying to be a championship contender, just having 2 main players is really hard, especially when one goes injured.
Definitely, which is why I believe he should be an MVP. He carried the load very well, kept them with a winning record, kept them in the top spot of the East for a while too, until the past few games.
Where Atlanta now stands.
Atlanta, oh God.
Talking about Atlanta, we're going to my wild card choice. Paul Millsap. Not exceptional numbers, but he definitely is someone who needs to be talked about. He is averaging about 1 point less than last year, but still 17 points a game is not something to just throw out the window that easily. And when you have 8 rebounds a game and you're averaging about 3 assists right now, you can't really complain about those 3 main numbers stand out, because for a power forward, like, those are actually really solid numbers. 17 and 8.
Looking at a power forward, those are really good numbers. And he is really a true power forward. He's not one of those stretch 4s. He is a paint player.
He also has basically 1 block a game and 2 steals a game, which add to his defensive numbers too, which is really nice to see when a power forward has really nice defensive play.
Yeah, and it really shows that he's establishing himself in the paint, making his presence known.
He's getting in the lane. And because of the fact that he is a power forward, but he is small for a power forward size at 6'8", he still has that wingspan that he can disrupt.
When you look at Kevin Durant, he's like a 3 guard at 6'11", so a power forward at 6'8", that is kind of small. But if you can make your presence known as he is doing, it isn't as hard to play the game.
As for this week, I'm Ben, that's Chad, and we are the Bench Players. Have a good week, everybody.